Namaste, my friend. Let us do some practice to check that how we can change the attitude. And let us be passive today. Eyes are closed and find out the right place so that your body does not get any stress, and find out the best position of the body on a couch, on the floor, on the bed, whatever is more comfortable to you. And posture. Posture means any posture that you can sit which is comfortable. Eyes are closed gently. Eyes are closed gently. Now, being comfortable, I have been talking, I believe, that being comfortable and being carefree are the two steps which must have become your way of relaxing. You have to tell me. So, in the state of right position, right posture, eyes are closed gently, you are looking at the neck joint, mentally looking at the neck joint, feeling, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Mind is going to shoulder joints, feeling, sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Mind is looking or going to the hip joint. This is just to check the awareness level of the mind with reference to the body and experiencing sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Move the mind on the entire body. Move the mind on the entire body. I can also say that allow the mind to touch the skin of your body from the top of the head to the toes. And then experience sensation, comfort, and steadiness in the body. So, in that state of comfort, steadiness in the body, we discover and experience that the body is not causing any problem, not distracting the mind. Then we go to the next step where the mind is distracted by its own thought. And that is where uh, being carefree, the step comes. Do you still remember what I say in being carefree? Thoughts are coming and going, let it come and go. This is one way to understand. Another way, you are standing across a road watching the traffic. It is a metaphor. Now we relate this metaphor to the mind, the mental traffic. And you are standing across a road. What is that road? You know. You are a knower. You are a seer of all the thoughts. You're not attached to any thought, feeling, emotions at this time. What happens on a traffic? You are standing across a road and you get attached to one particular traffic or car. So the mind begins craving for it, and then we enter into the traffic. You're watching the thoughts coming and going. If any thought continues to stay, let it stay. If it leaves, let it leave. But you are not affected by any thought, good, bad, high, low, negative, positive. You are not judging, you are not judgmental. You are simply watching these thoughts comes and goes. This is the step, what I say, is being carefree. Let us settle the mind little deeper. Now that would be our next step, where we move the mind on the experience of sensation, relaxation, and stillness before we work on the mind to change its attitude. That is the crux of karma yoga. So, mentally, you are looking at the head and the neck. The mind moves on the head and the neck. Experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Mind is moving, body is not moving. Mind is moving on the head and the neck. Now the mind moves on the right arm from the shoulder to the fingertips. You experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Moving the mind on the left arm, so where the mind is on the left arm, it is aware. Feel and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the middle portion of the body from the shoulder to the waist and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the right leg from the right side of the waist to the toes. Sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Move the mind on the left leg, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Now move the mind on the entire body from the top of the head to the toes and experience sensation, relaxation, and stillness. In a moment when the mind is not dictated by the outer situation, condition, and the state, and the people, and the relationship. In a simple way, that is the meaning the mind is living within. And when the mind is living within, then only we can bring about a change in the attitude of the mind. But we have to lay a foundation. Sarvesham swastirbhavatu. Sarvesham swastirbhavatu. Sarvesham swastirbhavatu. Meaning, may there be happiness for all. So, your intent of the mind that there is a happiness for all. Why? Because happiness is my nature. Why? Because the intrinsic nature of every human being is happiness. We got the answer? Now we check the state of the mind. Being happy is making everyone happy. Now see the opposite. This is the attitude. Now see another attitude. Mind has a thought that I'm unhappy, I'm stressed, I'm reacting, I'm into anxiety. What happens now? So, because you are in that state, you are going to express in the same state in your behavior and action. I believe you have understood the attitude. So, the attitude changes, or there is an attitude which is dictated by delusion, ignorance, and there is an attitude dictated by dispassion and discernment. So the attitude of the anxiety, being unhappy, is dictated by the ego, the false ego. Do you see that attitude? That is what we are going to talk about. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir Bhavatu. May there be peace for all. Now, if the peace is our attitude to think, speak, and act, my behavior and action will always manifest that peace. This is one. And if I'm not in peace, into anxiety and anger and hesitation, so even if I meet you, you will say, no, hold on, don't talk to me now. Are you getting about something about the attitude? We are going to talk and explain in different way. Good. So when there is an attitude guided by the peace in the mind, which is my nature, which is your nature, our behavior and action will also be guided by the peace. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. May there be completeness in all. Our problem of anxiety, duality, frustration, grief, wrong notion, reaction is caused by a sense of incompleteness. Where mind says, I'm incomplete. Then the mind asks, what you need? Oh, I need pasta. So for the time being, your sense of incompleteness is gone because of eating the pasta. But what is after that? After some time, there is another thought of incompleteness. So as long as we feel a sense of incompleteness present in the mind, there is no one in the world, including all the gods and goddesses, who can help us to be in peace and happiness. We need to understand this. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. May there be auspiciousness for all. So when I am seeking peace and happiness for all, in the sense of completeness for all and auspiciousness for all, in fact, I'm directing my mind by making this statement. I become more and more aware. And the moment you are aware, you get out of the delusion and you see there is already an auspiciousness in your life all the time. So, thought of the auspiciousness with a feeling and emotion creates a thought pattern, and then its behavior, then the action. Problem is no more. But we will understand it takes time. And now looking at the whole body, experiencing the sensation, comfort and steadiness, then looking at the breath that is going in and out, feeling the sensation. Do not change the rate and the rhythm of the breath. In a perfectly natural state of the mind of a human being, mind manifests the peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. When? All the time. Where? In all the locations. In which relationship? In all the relationships. And if that happens, that is known as an awakening. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti. Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your mind on the right hand. Your mind on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside. Know your experiences. And then bring the hands down gently. So you have a focus, you have a calmness, you have a receptivity, and then you are ready to listen. Karma Yoga. What is karma and what is karma? Karma literally means action. Action is done by the three layers of action. I think, that is also an action. I speak, that is also an action. And action, physical action. I go somewhere and I greet you and I hug you and I so with this action plus habitual mind plus impulses is known as the karma. We don't aware of our actions, which is guided by our false I, which has impulses, which has the past negative thoughts. So those negative thoughts, before the negative thoughts, I have a particular attitude. And then what is karma yoga? The karma yoga means the action guided by the inner mental state of calmness, peace, joy, focus, happiness. That is what the practice we did. So karma yoga doesn't mean that I need to perform different actions. I'll continue to go to the restroom, I'll continue to eat my breakfast, but the attitude in the mind is clear before doing any action. A king had the king was wise and he had two trusted ministers to advise him. Like that we have a politician and their advisors are there. So one minister always spoke sweet sounding words to make the king happy. And the other told him the unvarnished truth for his betterment. The king valued both. The first minister gave him the comfort, while the second minister gave him the wisdom. Because the second minister indicates the blind spot. And the first minister makes the king forget the blind spots. So in our mind we have two ministers. One is craving for all the time pleasure. It wants to dictate the situation, the people, the world, the relationship based on pleasure, even if it is wrong. And the second minister in the mind always guides us with the wisdom. That is the Eastern wisdom. So I'm not saying don't go in for the pleasure. I'm saying even if you want to go into the pleasure, go with wisdom. So the attitude has to change. What is that? The mind is not running after the craving, desire for seeking peace and happiness outside, which is not available. Mother was there. Mother loved her son too much. But that son was impatient, and every time the son demanded the sweets before the dinner, and sometimes she relented just to see his smile. No, at least my son will be happy, so continue to give him the sweets. What happens to the son? Son becomes adamant, stubborn, ruining his health. One is the stubborn, that is the attitude. Second is the health. Attitude. I have to change my attitude inside. So by trying to make her child happy all the time is spoiling the son. So always seeking the pleasure that the world should be according to me all the time is I'm spoiling the mind. Don't spoil the mind. You have to work on the mind. Working on the mind gives you a new attitude. With that attitude, you express your behavior, your action, the life changes. Karma yoga is the practice of acting without selfish motive or attachment. That is what I told you by the two stories of a king and two ministers and mother and the son. It's acting without selfish motive, because if I'm acting for seeking the pleasure outside, it becomes a selfish motive. But if I am not acting without this selfish motive, with the right knowledge inside my mind that changes the attitude, the life changes completely. That is what I wrote you. I sent the reply to you. I told you in the very beginning, action dictated by the ego, action dictated by what is right and good. We are understanding this is the second step. So I will continue to give you a couple of more sessions until your mind is fully absorbed into these principles. When we act out of the ego for fame, for power, for wealth, for pleasure, we reinforce as if we are the doer. And as long as you are the doer of any action, that action and its impression will continue to haunt you. Again, go back to the email, and if you read it, you will find that. Karma Yoga breaks this identification. How it breaks the identification? You have to go to the office. How it breaks the identification? That you are doing your duty. What is prescribed? What is your personal duty? You are doing it. You tell your mind, this is my duty, I have to do it. So what happens? The attitude now, the mind attitude has changed. It is not thinking I'm 70 years old or I'm 80 years old, I will retire. It will just think, this is my duty, I have to do it. Every day in the morning, our duty is to go to the restroom. Do you have any problem with that? No. So we take every work as, find out. If it is your duty, you do it. Going to the restroom, feeling hungry, eating their food, they do not cause any problem. Because I do it as a duty for my survival. So your professional life duty, personal life duty. Find out what is the duty instead of doing any work out of the ego. That is one way. We are just trying to understand bit by bit, because it's a great principle. It can change your entire life. It can purify your mind. So what it means that karma yoga means that I think, speak and act without worrying about my personal reward and losses. My focus and dedication rather than staking our happiness on uncertain outcomes. I drop psychological investment that my crazy mind is making. Now, this is my duty. You see my duty. I'm giving you a list. Should I say that now I'm old, so let me retire? Where I will go after retirement? 99% of the work I will continue to do even after the retirement. You ask the mind to retire from anxiety, duality, and a conflict. That is the real retirement. That will bring the inner freedom. So, what is going to happen? You are able to maintain a composure and a clear judgment while interacting with the world outside in relationship, in professional life, and personal life. You will ever forget that you have reached to this age. We have not purified the mind in the beginning, so that is why those past impressions haunts us again and again. Selfless service means the I-ness is not there. My primary motive to give you the lesson is to facilitate you to awaken to peace and happiness. That is the primary motive. So it becomes a selfless motive. And if we keep that attitude in our daily life, we awaken to the inner peace and happiness in our life. So changing the attitude of a doership. I'm the doer. We normally say, I have done this, I'm the doer of, I live professional life, so I do this and I do that. So doership. So karma yoga means that we do not identify with the doership or the experiencer of our actions. We change the attitude. It is right and good to do, and it is my duty. Let me do it. Let me do it. It is the grace of the God that He destined me to perform this duty. He destined me to talk to you. So will there be any anxiety and duality in the head? No. That is the secret of the karma. The attitude of the doership refers to the egoistic feeling that I am the ultimate doer and the enjoyer of this action. But the karma yoga teaches us to go beyond that limited identification. A farmer plow the field, sow the seed, water the field. Done? Then what he does? Does he wake up in the middle of the night and he digs the field to see if the seeds have grown into the sapling? He will destroy all the seeds. What he does? He enjoys, he's relaxed. He has performed his duty. So I perform all actions as my duty, what is right and good, and then I don't even think of the results of an action. Why? That is the right attitude. Then the mind is not becoming crazy at any time. Are you getting it? An example of the farmer. There is another secret behind it. This example of the farmer. He he plows the field, his effort, his duty. He waters the field, yes, his duty. He sows the seed. Does he create a sunlight, rainfall, fertility in the seed? No. So all our actions, its success depends on many factors that I do and many, many factors that I don't do. Like the farmer performs his duty, he knows his duty. This is what to act as a farmer. Plow the field, sow the seed, remove the weeds and water the plants and then relax. Why? What are the known other factors? The sunlight, the fencing around the field, the rainfall, the fertility present in the seed. So we also have many, many factors, unknown factors. And because we have many unknown factors, so we say ego should not work here. And that becomes the selfless action. The same way, the farmer does not create the sunlight, rainfall, fertility of the soil, nor does he manufacture the seeds or causes them to sprout and grow. So every action, I just perform my duty and forget about it. It's a selfless action. Countless visible and invisible forces of the nature enabling the entire process of arising, growth, and fruition of the crops. The same way, we have many, many factors outside our control. And that is why we do not bring the ego, we do not bring the negative attitude in the mind before the action, during the action, and after the action. So then what happens? The attitude of humility. Through recognizing the other forces dissolves the ignorance. What is that ignorance? That I am the doer. I am the exclusive doer. Are you going for to your professional duty? Yes, I go there. Very good. Did you earn the money? Yes, you earn the money. Does the dollar belongs to you? Dollar is printed by our federal government. The attitude of the humility shall be there. When you minimize the personal agency inside you, you expand the possibilities. And that opens up. That results into the karma yoga. So I have been talking about the attitude in the mind. So how to change that attitude? So we have to remember two things. Karma yoga means that I guide my thought, speech, and action by what is right and good. Then the egoistic likes and dislikes. One thing. And second thing, that once I performed an action, forget about the fruits. You have made an effort, the result will definitely come. But don't worry about it. So, right mental attitude without attachment to the results. It is a big job. You have to report to me almost every day how much changes you are bringing in your life by Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means our thoughts, speech and actions are guided by what is right and good. First thing, what is right and good? And then I say, it's my duty, let me do it. It's my duty to give you a lesson, so I'm giving it. Out of the peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. But at the same time, I should not worry about the results, because result depends on you. So what happens? You get an emotional freedom, inner peace and happiness. So what happens? By the regular practice of karma yoga, you find that you are minimizing the very selfishness, the doership, the egocentrism that causes a lot of suffering. Who can practice karma yoga? Everyone, anyone can practice karma yoga just by understanding. It's a timeless wisdom where you should practice karma yoga all the time, in every thought, speech, and action, in every relationship. You are walking, walk with what is right and good. Don't keep on thinking, I will get the result. I have taken 5,000 steps. Now my 50 calories are burned. Forget about it. Because if you are thinking, it will create a conflict. Once you have chosen, the karma, the action needs to be done. So your mental attitude, mind says, let me do it as my duty because this is right and good. And you do it, forget about the result is bound to come, but you are not attached to it. So what will happen? You'll feel the sense of emotional freedom. Inner calmness is always there. Not only that, you may have an inner insight. And it also leads to self-realization and liberation over a period of time. We have lion's view and we say the bird's eye view. So what happens? The lion's view means that what is present here and now. Lion's view represents the being grounded in the present moment and fulfilling our duties. And what is the bird's eye view? The bird's eye view represents the bigger view. So what is the bigger view here? That I see myself, that I am the real self, I am not the ego. That is what we covered in the step one. So karma yoga integrates both lion's view and the bird's eye view. What happens to the life becomes easy, calm, relaxed. And the karma yoga makes us free from reactions based on likes and dislikes. Go back again to the email that you sent me. You will understand. So you have strong likes and dislikes, and as long as we have it, so we are bound to react. By doing my duty, what is required without concern for the outcomes, based on my personal preferences, I simply do it. That is going to change you. When should we practice karma yoga? I told you, at any time, in every thought, word, and this action, irrespective of what the activity is. That reminds us where the true happiness lies. It lies within. But if I don't practice karma yoga, it will not purify the mind, it will not bring the emotional freedom. That will not happen. That will not happen. So you see, by practicing karma yoga from today, emotional freedom, inner silence and stillness, deeper insight, excellence in action, prosperity, fearlessness, they all touch your feet. There is another way to understand. I should dedicate all my actions for a higher purpose. Higher purpose. So, what is the higher and the lower purpose? I am working, but I am stressed. So, now see that. I am talking to you, I'm speaking to you, and I am stressed. Means what my purpose is to be in stress. Why shouldn't I change my attitude and talk to you? That let me give you the best way to acquire the peace and happiness. My focus is on the work, on the activity. But if I use this, my work as a burden, it comes because of the ego, the doership, and that destroys my mind. Understand in a different way what is the higher and the lower purpose in daily life. What is the higher purpose? Higher purpose is to recognize and realize the real self. Higher purpose is to know and discover that I am of the nature of peace and happiness. Higher purpose means that can I think, speak, and act in what is good for you, bypassing my ego. That is, I responded bypassing the ego. And what is then the lower purpose? Lower purposes are always driven by the selfish interest of material and emotional benefits for oneself. And even when I don't know, I told you that after the retirement, 99% of our actions, minus one activity of the professional life, is missing. The rest are the same. Or if your mind says, I will retire today, so next moment will be in peace and happiness. Can you guarantee me? So lower. So when the mind is still guided by the lower purpose, even before and after retirement, it will continue to cause you the stress. What is the higher purpose? Driven by the selfless action, contribution, focused on, more focused on how to express my peace and happiness with everyone in the world. That is the higher purpose. How I can express my thought, speech, and action to you. That is a higher purpose. Can you think of that? Just think of this. Think of again and again, and you will see that the mind is going to change. Higher purpose. Understand little deeper. Higher purpose, me and mine, defines the purpose. So if the me and mine defines the purpose, that is a lower purpose. And if what is right and good defines the purpose, that is a higher purpose. You come to me, I meet you in peace and happiness, I express peace and happiness, I don't react. It is a high purpose. When all our actions are guided and dictated by and revolve around what me and mine all my relationship is driven by me and mine, it causes lot of problem. I have to get rid of this attitude completely in order to purify the mind. And the purpose, higher purpose, means that I want to discover the real self in this situation, even if you are upset with me, even if you say something to me, I use it, my wisdom, that let me be in the wisdom not to react. I think that you have certain challenges, that is why you reacted in this way. That reaction is not meant against me. You see, the mental attitude has to change. The mental attitude does not change, karma yoga will not happen. Let us go a little deeper further. In this today's session, we are going deeper, deeper, deeper. So, how me and mine purpose relates to the body mind complex. Me and mine is always related to the body and mind. Me and mine, idea, thoughts, feeling, frustration, always related to fulfilling physiological needs of the body and pleasure seeking mind. Pleasure seeking mind means that I want a gratification of my sense organs. I inflate my I-ness. What is the result? I am prone to anxiety. I am prone to insecurity. I am prone to reaction. I am detached from the real self. Even the real self is present in you, I am still detached with the real self. So, what is that attitude? The real self is there, full of bliss. It is present in everyone. It is untouched by whether a desire is satisfied or frustrated. The real self is no selfish motivation of loss and gain. It exists in harmony with everyone, with all the existence. The life changes completely. Karma and Karma Yoga. So understand how karma drives by me and mine puts into the false self. I forget the real self and that causes the suffering. How it drives me? It drives me that with an idea that this body-mind rules define me fully. I am the body and the mind. So I invest my mind, my thought, my feeling, my wrong notions with a gender, with a particular age and the profession that causes challenges. I'm answering the question how karma drives by me and mine puts me into the false self that causes suffering. So I judge every event, good and bad, based on my personal likes, profit, and loss. It will continue to cause us the distress. I define the progress by accumulation and acquisition, possession of pleasure seeking. It traps me. It causes the suffering. It traps my false self. Unfulfilled desire of the insatiable false self leads to endless craving. And that is one reason I am frustrated. I fail to get what I want because it is a pleasure seeking mind. And that results into misery. The true self is within. Can you think of the three factors I still continue your sessions? Just think of it. And you'll find the beautiful karma yoga. As a teacher, I'm fully committed to your growth and evolution. I don't hide what needs not to be hidden. I openly talk to you the way I have sent you the email. Another point that we should, you just pay attention. What is your duty? What is my duty with you? I don't waste even a single minute. I start the journey. What is my duty before this son? Fatherly figure. Can I set an example? With my peace and the calmness, the life will change. Do you see that? No, but if the even if the son reacts, that is his reaction. Why should I take his reaction as it should cause me anxiety? I will continue to offer my role as a father. Father, as a guide, as a mentor, as a friend. Let me play my role. Finished. But if he reacts, let him react. Do you see that? So how should I play my role? So I should remember, I should understand what is my role. I should think. When your son comes, so what is your role? Think, oh, as a mother. Okay, this is the role that I'm going to perform. I have no reasons to react or to enter into any conflict with anyone. Finished. You are free. But in order to find your duty, you have to reflect and contemplate. If you don't contemplate and reflect, karma plus impulsive mind, habitual mind, likes and dislikes, you like particular son, you dislike another son, so reaction will continue. Did you understand? That's why contemplation, reflection is required. So then you perform your duty for the duty's sake. You are doing your duty for the duty's sake, out of the love and the care. Duty for the duty's sake, out of the peace and happiness, that is your attitude. You performed your duty. Finished. So what will happen? Your mind will never think when I have to retire. It will never come to your mind. Performing the personal, your own duty at different situation, people, and relationship also helps you to overcome the resistance. And you overcome the resistance with the patience. You love, you hug your son, your kids, and your children, your friends. But at the same time, it is you are able to maintain a non-attached equanimity. Do you understand? Non-attached. You are not attached, and a sense of equanimity, equipoise is maintained in your mind. That is your attitude. And then every time you have performed your duty, you say you offer that duty to the God and the result to the God also. Or just for the sake of changing the purifying the mind. Oh, thank you, God. I was able to maintain my peace and the poise. Understand this. I perform my duty with a proper attitude in the mind. And that attitude makes us selfless. And as long as you are selfless, the ego will not drop in. Likes and dislikes will not enter into your mind. It will not create any kind of delusion, and it is not going to create any reaction, anxiety, and anger. In our next lesson, we will go deeper into the karma yoga. We will understand what are the different types of karma. There is a prescribed duty. We must do it. If we don't do it, we are punished. But if we do it, we don't get the reward. Should I give an example? You drive under the rules on the road, you don't get any reward, but you are happy inside. But if you're speeding the car over the limit, the cops catches you, you are punished. That is how the Eastern wisdom explains us. We are going to talk about that in our next. Thank you.